Good morning, everyone. This is Barry Tonic from Tetra Tech. I'm the moderator for this session with Ashley Showers from Berks County. We're going to talk about the Berks County MS4 municipalities' efforts to address public education and involvement. Just a couple quick points about the Teams format. Please do mute your microphone, turn your camera off. Also, if you see the three dots up at the top of your screen in the middle of the instrument panel there, you can click those three dots and scroll down to the focus selection, and it will make the slides bigger, eliminate all the icons for all the attendees and so forth. There's also a full screen selection there. If you're having trouble seeing the slides, you can make it a little bit bigger there. For questions, you can enter them in the chat, raise your hand at the end, and or unmute your mic and then mute it back for the response. And finally, stick around at noon for that session so you can get the link for the evaluation survey. We really appreciate people filling those out. So without further ado, Ashley, if you're ready to go, we're ready to hear from you.
All right, thank you very much, Barry. Thank you everybody for picking this session to listen to this morning. My name is Ashley Showers. I'm the Assistant Director of the Berks County Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission serves as the Secretary and Administrator of the Berks County MS4 Steering Committee. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead. My presentation is pretty brief. I have a tendency to talk a little too fast, so I'm going to try to slow down. But the goal is to give you an overall view of how the steering committee was created, how we function and what the function is of the steering committee and the cooperative education program, and then some of the things we've learned in the past several years through the two different permit rounds that we've been formalized through. So with the creation, are my slides and everything okay? Everybody can see it?
Everything looks good, audio
Okay,
and
great.
the slides.
Okay, great. All right, so originally, before the second last permit round, some of the municipalities and especially the engineers who were representing municipalities that had MS4 permits were having informal meetings between the permittees and the engineers, just talking about how the permit was going to be changing in the last round. And so in those informal meetings, it was discussed of how can we save money, how can we work together with our municipalities to combine efforts to meet permit requirements that are going to be changing. So again, the discussion was then focused on the MCMs of the permit requirements and addressing them on a countywide approach rather than the individual municipal basis for cost savings. And then, so to do that, we developed an intergovernmental ordinance and a cost sharing agreement in which lays out what the education partners would be providing. And again, the education partners are the Planning Commission, the Conservation District, and then formerly the Berks Conservancy, but now Berks Nature. And then we also prepared bylaws on how the board is set up, and also just how things are handled, voting and whatnot with participating municipal members. So in Berks County, this is a map of our county and who currently under this current permit cycle that ends in 2023, who has waivers, who is permitted, and who is not an MS4. So as you can see, I would say about 75% of the county is an MS4 municipality. However, those in yellow do have waivers in this current round. And then there are several of our very rural municipalities, since they determine permits by census, who are not permittees or in the MS4 program at all. Of those shown in green, about the majority of them are participants in the steering committee and the cooperative education program. It's about, so we have a lot of good of participation with those who are permittees. So the structure of the steering committee is there's a 4-person board that includes a chair, a vice chair, a secretary, and a treasurer. We have quarterly meetings with our member municipalities and their representatives. And then, as I said, we have 3 education partners: the Planning Commission, the Conservation District, and the Conservancy. And again, through that intergovernmental agreement and cost sharing, we discuss and provide education, outreach, and involvement for actually all of the MCMs, but we mainly focus on 1, 2, and 6 of the minimum control measures. And then we also, the main thing that we provide right now is for the annual reports through the activities that the education partners provide. We put that together on an Excel worksheet, and we give that to our member municipalities along with a cover letter and any outreach materials that we prepare in the annual throughout the year for the members to use, so that DEP has the information to coincide with the municipality's own annual report information. So how we do it, like I said, through the 3 educational partners. I represent the Berks County Planning Commission as one of the partners. And again, we work to do a lot of educational events and trainings with municipal officials and employees. We also try to do outreach and participate in events with our county school districts. We prepare brochures, posters for our members to print and display and post as needed. And we also prepare PowerPoint presentations. Berks Nature is really our very strong partner in the educational aspects of the permit. They provide educational programs for stormwater, source water, for adults, children, and even private companies. They do lunch and learns with private companies. And they also are a big partner with the involvement requirement because they have a lot of BMP installation projects that they do outreach and education with. They also do a lot of cleanups throughout the county, and they also work with a lot of the individual watershed associations we have. All of them are under an umbrella now with Berks Nature, and they do a lot of sampling through that as well. The Berks County Conservation District, again, they're another strong partner as far as outreach to our county school districts. They also work with our farmers and other participating landowners for BMP installations and education. And they also are focusing through both stormwater and the source water program that they manage for the county, outreach to our fire departments and golf courses. So these are just a few pictures of some of the events we've had. At the top of this slide, the first ever Aquapalooza through Berks County was held several years ago now, but we had almost 400 children from the Reading area school district attend this event, and we had various activities that were teaching the children the importance of clean streams and clean water and how that water becomes polluted through stormwater. One of the image in the center is one of the posters and handouts that we had about cleaning up dog waste and how important that is, and some other important facts that we distributed to our member municipalities, which then they can put that in their municipal newsletters, on their municipal web pages, and whatnot to circulate. And then the bottom pictures are the one on the left there on the bottom is from coordination and outreach with the emergency coordinators for the municipalities in the county. We did the mini enviroscapes. Again, Berks Nature has this program. That was a great event, educating emergency coordinators, if they're responding to a fire event, a large spill event from an auto accident or train derailment or tractor trailer event, teaching them what they should be looking for, who they should be notifying. And then the bottom right picture is an event we did several years ago when DEP came out and did, I believe, friendly audits of the municipalities and their program, and walked around municipal facilities that are permitted. So we went to one of our municipalities and we basically did a mock audit to train our public works employees and municipal employees. So things we have learned, the biggest thing is we don't have a joint permit for this education program or a steering committee. Each municipality is an individual permittee, whether it's a general or individual permit. So they are the main responsible owners of things. We're just a tool in their toolbox for their program is how we like to look at that. But a lot of, sometimes we still have municipalities, even though they maintain membership in the steering committee, they like to say, oh, well, Ashley's in charge of this for my program, or the conservation district's in charge of this. And although that may be true in some aspect of it, we're not the permittee. And in the end, the permittee is responsible. So that's been an interesting lesson, and we continue to still walk through that. Again, one big thing is, how do we reach all audiences? With doing this for several years now, I think the biggest thing is how do you freshen up the material to get people interested who have seen this now for several years, but then also to making the right connections and getting in front of the people who make the decision to either welcome the Planning Commission or Berks Nature to present a program and have an outreach opportunity. So that's been a learning thing that we have been working on, and a lesson. And then also the main big one is the acceptance of how we're established and our structure with DEP. We haven't received comments. We've been doing this a couple years now. When DEP came in through the audits, they really were helpful in saying, well, kind of in response to the municipal responsibility, that's great. You have the steering committee and you're a member and you have the agreement and you pay a membership fee, but what are you actually doing besides that? And so that's something that I don't think we've gotten too many negative comments about of how we're doing that. We're hoping that things are still being accepted with, putting together our Excel worksheets for the annual reports. Putting a cover letter with that, providing all the outreach materials that we prepare. Also, we identify which target audience for what material or presentation that was held or event, so that they can see we are targeting different audiences to educate and outreach on a broad countywide basis. Next slide. Like I said, I probably went a little fast. If anyone has any follow-up questions, I'm here to answer them, answer them.
All right, we do have a good bit of time for questions or comments. You can type them in the chat box or unmute your microphone and ask away.
With my information, I guess one thing is I could share my presentation, or there's going to be a recording. What I will say is that if anybody would like to see like the Excel matrix that we use, or an example of our intergovernmental agreement and cost sharing agreement, I'd be happy to send that out so people have that as a reference. I'll put my email in the chat.
Very good. And we do have a question. How is the committee funded? You talked a little bit about the various municipalities contribute to it. How is that set up?
Yes, that's a good question. So that's set up through the cost sharing agreement. There is an annual membership fee. When we first began the steering committee and education program, that fee was, I believe the first year it was $1,000 or $1,500, and then we went to $1,000 to really build the funds and build the program. And then we have since, in this permit round, because we were fiscally responsible, the annual membership fee that now in this current permit cycle is $700. So they pay that annually. That's how it's funded. And then we every quarter we have invoices that are approved by the members and the committee, and then they are paid through the treasurer, which is the conservation district, to the education partners.
And let's see here. Okay. What about the, you said the committee meets quarterly. Um, are there meetings, do they get into the weeds on what you're going to do and so forth, or do you sort of present things to them? How does that work? Do they generate a lot of the ideas for this, or do you sort of bring them what you think might work, and they sort of review it and say yes or no? How does that process work?
That's a good question. I would have to say I believe that the education partners really bring the ideas, or the kind of the strategic plan for the year of what they're going to be doing. Again, with Berks Nature and the Conservation District, they both have strategic plans of this is what programming we're going to be doing. They plan that the year before. So where's the stormwater component of those programs? So does the Conservation District. But the committee, members always have the opportunity to suggest what we do. We've done many surveys of what topics are we missing that we're not covering in our sessions that we've done or outreach that we've done. It's really a two-way street. The education partners, put everything together, but we ask for the members and, input and direction as well.
You talked a little bit too about the challenges associated with sort of freshening up the material and so forth. Trying to find different ways to reach people and raise awareness and provide education on the importance of stormwater, the links to water quality, and so forth. Um, how have you approached that? Is that something you're still managing, or have you guys had any light bulbs go off in that regard?
Well, the one thing is through Berks Nature, they really are the creative arm of the association. They do a lot of different events. They come up with different events. They always work to incorporate stormwater education into a lot of their events. So we're thankful for that. But also too, this year we tried something different where we did a contest to make videos from the middle school level up to high school level. And we were able to get we got 6 total entries, which for the first year was, again, for us, good to get. It was spread across different watersheds in the county and different permittee locations that we're going to be posting to web pages. We're also going to be doing some new things where Berks County has an electronic recycling center that all county residents can access. And right now we're in the works of putting together kind of like a billboard at that center, because it's accessible for all county residents, even though it's located in one township that is a permittee and is a member of the steering committee. To us, because it's open to all residents, it should cover all of our members. So we're putting a billboard together. And so we have taken ideas from other counties and permittees, but we just try to do something different that reaches different audiences every year. But it would be great to see how maybe it's collected through the annual reports of what is the different outreach that everybody's doing, to really see who has new ideas that we haven't tried before.
We've got another question here about feedback. Do you get pretty good feedback from the communities on your efforts?
Are we talking about maybe residents or public that attend events on our efforts, or are we talking about members of and what they think of our efforts?
Well, what about the public? We can start out with that.
Okay, the public, I would say we get a lot of good feedback. We do a great job of publicizing it in the Reading Eagle, our local paper, and again, different various social media platforms and each of the education partners platforms. I think we get a good response from the public because they're participating in the events where we have actual events that we have volunteers to come do tree plantings or BMP installations of some sort. So we do get negative feedback on some things, but I think we have a lot of more positive feedback than negative.
What about COVID? I assume with events and so forth, COVID had a major effect on your activities over the last 12 plus months. Were you able to shift your approach in light of the COVID impacts?
Yes, so we didn't do obviously too many in-person events. I wouldn't say that actually. Berks Nature did have some events still during COVID later in COVID later last year and into this year. So there were some in-person events held. Municipalities, one of the events that our member municipalities did was a fishing rodeo. So they had a public outdoor event where we had outreach materials for people to take and learn about stormwater. So we were able to do some things, but this contest, you know, thankfully with the schools still obviously being in session, whether they were virtual in person, that's why we decided to launch the contest for students to create those videos. So that's one way we adapted is one, we're using a virtual platform for them to create the videos, but also it's virtually based and they can socially distance depending on how they created their video.
You know, the video sounds like a great idea, and I wonder if this is kind of hitting you cold here, but do you have one of those videos that you can pull up and let us look at? You know, I know we didn't plan for this. I don't know how I don't know all the buttons and all for the sound and so forth. We do have a Tetra Tech person here that can help with technical stuff, but are you able to pull up a video now and play it?
I can.
All
Yeah,
right.
this is Adriana. When you hit share content, there's going to be a little slide button that says include audio. You'll hit that button and then whatever you share will include sound.
Now, how long is this video? We have about, what about maybe 15 minutes left.
They're very short videos.
Oh, good.
All right, so hold on one second because I do have it. I just got to find the right email. There we go.
So Ashley, first make sure that you're sharing content and then you play the video. Right now you're not sharing anything?
Yeah, I'm still pulling up the folder
okay.
link.
Okay.
And then I will, once I open the video, I will share.
Okay.
So. Okay, so. All right, hold on one second. Hopefully I can do this.
Nothing like having an audience while you sort through technical issues.
That's fine, sorry, and I'm here talking to myself. Okay, now.
We see the video coming up. We see it loading.
I need my toolbar. Right now I can't find my toolbar to see if the audio comes up.
So when you hit the share content, there right below, it's right next to the word share content. There's a little slide bar that says include computer sound. You select that and then what you want to share. So do you see when you hit the share content, that little box with the arrow? Did you see the slide bar?
Okay. I got it, I think. All right, I'm going to try it. So here's one of our entries. We haven't chose the winners yet. At our July quarterly meeting, we'll be choosing the recipients, and we are providing a cash award for that. So they could have a pizza party with their group, whoever submitted it, or for their class. So, all right, here we go.
pollution can cause huge damage to our beautiful environment? And did you also know that human life could be annihilated because of our mistreatment of our planet? I had no idea that our actions could cause our extinction. Well, what can we do to prevent water pollution and improve our water quality? Firstly, how can water pollution even destroy our watershed? Well, they can damage marine life by murdering our fish and killing all who drink from its stained waters and creating extreme algae growth that suffocate and deprive oxygen from all life underneath. So how can we fix things so this travesty cannot occur? You can help keep our waters clean by properly disposing household chemicals, limiting uses of fertilizers and pesticides, and even just picking up your dog's feces.
Yeah, we heard the great dialogue there, but the video itself did not come through on my screen.
So much about how to protect our.
Maybe I
Oh,
missed this.
there it is. There it is.
So there's
Yeah.
I hit something earlier.
There we see the video image now stopped.
Planet from catastrophe. And this is all thanks to only rain down storm drain, an organization looking to keep harmful chemicals from reaching our aquatic life. Join us in saving our beautiful planet!
Did you catch that last part?
Yes, that was
With the
good.
video. Okay. Sorry, I hit another icon and that's what messed it up. Do you want me to replay it from the beginning?
Sure, go ahead.
All right.
Did you know that water pollution can cause huge damage to our beautiful environment? And did you also know that human life could be annihilated because of our mistreatment of our planet? I had no idea that our actions could cause our extinction. Well, what can we do to prevent water pollution and improve our water quality? Firstly, how can water pollution even destroy our watershed? Well, they can damage marine life by murdering our fish and killing all who drink from its stained waters and creating extreme algae growth that suffocate and deprive oxygen from all life underneath. So how can we fix things so this travesty cannot occur? You can help keep our waters clean by properly disposing household chemicals, limiting uses of fertilizers and pesticides, and even just picking up your dog's feces. Wow, I've learned so much about how to protect our planet from catastrophe. And this is all thanks to only rain down storm drain, an organization looking to keep harmful chemicals from reaching our aquatic life. Join us in saving our beautiful planet!
All right.
Yeah, great idea. I've seen a lot of student projects, but the video idea is really good. That really engages them.
Yes. So this was, like I said, this was our first year that we launched this. We even got, I think we did offer it to elementary school children. So we even got a cute little video from elementary school students that was more of with a picture, but they described like the importance of a creek and what the creek means to them. So yeah, that was just one of the entries. Hopefully we'll do this annually and we will just build a stockpile of educational videos that our members will have access to put on their websites, to put to link to and present at events. So that's what we did this year through COVID. We tried to do that.
Very good. Any other comments or questions? Does anyone out there in the group have other examples they would like to share on innovative approaches they took for outreach, involvement, engagement during this crazy, 15 months of COVID?
If anybody wants to speak, they should probably raise their hand because I think we hit mute all. So if anybody wants to take themselves off mute, just raise your hand and then we'll take you off mute.
Okay, any comments or examples? If not, I do want to thank everyone for attending, and thank you, Ashley. Very interesting approach. Multiple municipalities. I know there's a lot of interest in these approaches to save money, coordinate things. People realize that a lot of what they're doing is very similar to what neighboring communities are doing, and there's no need to, be redundant or recreate the wheel. So a great example of how to cooperate and coordinate with other communities. If no one has any other comments, thanks again. Our next session begins at 11:10. So do hit the red leave button in the upper right when you exit out, and then go to your agenda and click the new link for the 11:15 session. Thanks again. Have a good day.
Thank you.